All right, good morning, everybody. So that music kind of inspired a little bit in me here this morning, and so I just wanted to kind of came together as a prayer almost here. But in a world that keeps on pushing us around, be glorified in me, Lord. 1,000 times I've failed, but still, your mercy remains. Breathe on me, God. So I want to start this with an apology. I feel I owe God and you all first for not sharing this sooner. This has been on my heart for months now, but my lack of courage has kept me from getting up here, and I'm sorry for that. Second, for those of you that have had to go through this alone, I'm sorry I didn't reach out to you, and sorry I didn't do better. Proverbs 29:25. The fear of a man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. We can easily get entrapped by our own fears, but when things seem like too much to handle, we need only to turn to God and remember that we are safe in His hands. Today, as I'm starting to write this out, I'm feeling overwhelmed. The whole world feels a lot like chaos. Everywhere you look, there's complaining and hate. People screaming for love with hate. People screaming hate in the name of love. People that are lost and people that are hurt. People that have a hole in their lives that needs to be filled. As the secular world is grabbing for control, rights, and equality, I can't help but feel sad. I was in school when the Pledge of Allegiance was removed. I was in school when prayer was removed. And I was in school when all this PC stuff came to light. I've seen both sides. I was reading an article a while back about Gen Xers. In the article, it stated that we are the last generation that remembers the simpler times. Times before computers everywhere, cell phones, and the internet. I have grown up as these technologies have came to be. I remember the 5 o'clock news and the paper being our main sources of news, and I remember when reporting was not opinions. I remember reciting the pledge before class each day, and I remember real communication taking two people face to face. I remember all these things and bring them up today not as a reminder of the past, but as a look to the future. These things as I look to the future from my perspective. I feel my generation is the one in the middle. I grew up with the technology. I was not born into it. I was able to keep up with it, and I can see both worlds. I am sad and scared for our country and our world. As we drift further away from the fundamentals that keep us together and embrace technologies, chaos seems to follow close behind. As we push away from love of country to I don't even know what, we divide. As we push God out of the picture more and more, He is replaced with chaos and greed. I think we, the church, are really failing right now. I'm in many homes every week. I see a lot of people from a lot of walks of life. No matter who they are, they all have one thing in common right now: fear. Fear of the virus, fear of death, fear of life. People are sad right now. People are lonely right now. People are lost right now. As we have been banned from church and socializing, people have gone from bad to worse. Many of us church people have been hypocrites, me included. Facebook makes it so easy to hit that share button, but does it need to be shared? Does it really help anyone? Right now, there are people that need help and direction. There are so many that are waiting for God, for the gods of government to give them the answer or solution. What is it? Well, there is not one the government can give you. It's kind of like Sudafed. It's a temporary cover to make a problem feel less bad. It's not a solution to the problem, but a Band-Aid that makes it feel better. As Christians, we have the answer. Now is the time to share it and live it and show it. We must now, more than ever, stand up and fight the right fight. Now, more than I have ever seen in my life, is the time for us to do what Jesus needs for us to do and wants us to do. Be disciples, be examples, and show people the way, the truth, and the life. Show people that we don't need to be scared. I've found that most people don't like to talk about death. It's a really touchy subject to some, and it's a subject that needs to be discussed. If you're not aware, nobody's getting out of this world alive. You're going to die. One day, hopefully, in your sleep, it's coming to all of us. I don't want to offend anybody or hurt anyone, but I may. I've had many people give me a hard time saying that people with cancer and close to suicide don't want to hear this. And if that's you, know that I love you and I would love to pray with you. And I don't say this to hurt you. My opinion is that death is not to be feared. We can't live with a fear of death. If we want to live life, like being locked in your house for months, I'm not saying I want to die. I don't. I have a wife and 2 boys that need me around. And I'm not saying being stupid either. Proverbs 14:16-18. One who is wise is cautious and turns away from evil, but a fool is reckless and careless. A man of quick temper acts foolishly, and a man of evil devices is hated. The simple inherit the folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Be cautious, be wise, and be alive with Jesus in your heart. Romans 12:1-2, a living sacrifice. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. I've included this verse as a reminder that this body is not mine. There are others, but this is my favorite. My life is to be lived for Jesus. I need to be ready every day to die, but I can't live my life every day with worry about death. That takes away life. As a disciple, I need to be showing the world how to live a cautious life without fear. I need to be brave for Jesus. I mean, he faced being nailed to a cross for me. I will never be that brave, but I can still show bravery and my faith, both without being reckless. We always want what somebody else has. That's human nature. We hear the phrase, keeping up with the Joneses a lot. We need to be the Joneses. I want and need to show the world right now that there is a better way, a way to live a life without fear of death. Really, death is the reward at the end of this difficult journey we call life. At least, if you're a Christian, it's the reward. It is selfish of us to keep this a secret. I need to show how good life is with God right now, more than I have ever seen in my short time on this earth. This is the time for the church to shine and be a light in all the dark. I know the feeling you have right now. It's uncomfortable, most times even to bring it up. You don't want anyone to think, oh, you're some freak or Jesus freak or crazy religious person. But to put it bluntly, screw your feelings. We have been called to greater things. Sometimes the risk is worth the reward. Put yourself aside and think of the hurt that others have and the power that Jesus provides. If you still can't do it, just be the light. Always smile and always love. It won't be like old Ron Kramer. Such passion for Jesus that people want to look at you and say, what is that guy on? I want some of that. It's powerful to see somebody like Ron and his enthusiasm. Just know that there's a lot of hurting and lonely people out there right now. People that would not normally worry about are lower than they've ever been and need love and interaction. Facebook does not replace real interactions. People of our church here even people of our own church are struggling. Make sure you don't forget your family and God as well. Be that love and let Jesus do the rest. Romans 8:28, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. The good news, we may not understand God's big plan, but we should trust that he has one for us. Everything in our lives happens for his reason. And we'll finish with Philippians 4:6. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Show the world it is not lost in chaos. Show them what Jesus has to offer. Thank you.